Endless edits. Why are they a hindrance in achieving your success, and why you may want to overcome it? And most importantly, how? We'll discuss 5 specific ways for you to know that your lyrics are finished and it's time to move on. And by the way, I'm Vadusha and I'm the best expert in lyrics in the entire world, and maybe even on YouTube. Sometimes it's really hard to really know when to stop editing your lyrics. You keep editing and you edit and edit and edit and you never finish. There's a bunch of unfinished lyrics you have and you keep making those tweaks and changes and you're never satisfied with the result. Let's see why it is so bad. First of all, it limits your creativity. You become fixated on perfecting your work and you know that perfection is unachievable. And while you're editing, you're actually not spending time exploring new ideas. This limits your creativity. Then, most of your edits are just wasted time and effort. You shouldn't really be perfecting what's already good enough. And then instead of focusing on other aspects of your songs like melodies and rhythms and instruments and harmonies, you keep editing those lyrics. This in turn gives you a lot of missed opportunities. You could have produced a lot of songs, instead you keep editing. This can also lead to burnout because endless processes lead to burnouts. Eventually, you might lose confidence and become insecure, and we've talked about insecurity in the series. The link to the entire series is in the description. Oh, and in case you have a deadline, you can just miss the deadline if you keep editing your lyrics. Right, how to know it's time to move on and stop editing. How you fix the issue. The first way to battle it is to actually set deadlines. You say, whatever edits I come up with today are the final edits. No more edits tomorrow. That's a really good way to stop. Tomorrow, you move on to something next. Tip number 2, you can set rules. Once you've exhausted a certain period of time, you can postpone editing. Put the lyrics away for a month or a week or whatever time period it takes for you to cool down. After the month, you come back to the lyrics and you reread them and you re-edit them. By this time, hopefully, you're not gonna have so many feelings about this piece of lyrics. And with a cold head, you're gonna read through the lyrics and edit them, because it's always easier to edit someone else's lyrics. After some time, your own lyrics are gonna feel like someone else's lyrics. It's gonna be easier to finalize them, because the time helps you break the emotional attachment. And I really hope you're emotionally attached to this channel enough to subscribe. Please do subscribe because it helps the channel grow. Also, express your emotions liking the video or leaving a positive comment. I'm always glad to see those. Thank you. Tip number 3 is to set goals. This is a project management tool. You actually explicitly formulate what you want to achieve with the lyrics. What is your end goal? Is it satisfying a customer? Is it satisfying your band members? Or is it just enjoying the process? Those are 3 different goals. If you want to satisfy a customer, the end point in your editing is when the customer is satisfied. You stop editing as soon as the customer is happy. Pretty easy, right? Because if you don't have a goal set, you cannot answer this question. When is it time to stop? There's no good answer to that. It's like asking, what is a good tool? Is a microscope a good tool? It kind of is. You can see through the microscope. You can see really tiny things. It's good. Or is it? Is it a good tool to dig holes in the ground? Once you know the purpose, once you see the goal, it's easier to see if the tool matches the purpose, if the tool matches the goal, if your lyrics match what you want to achieve with. And if your goal is to actually enjoy writing lyrics, maybe it's never time to stop. I mean, if you enjoy editing and re-editing and re-editing, those iterations give you satisfaction. Why not make it a forever process? But it's important to realize what the purpose is, what the goal is, and then stick to it. And it's gonna be a formal criterion to whether to stop or not. A more philosophical tip is to realize that perfection is unattainable. Nothing is perfect, and always good enough is good enough. There's always some room for improvement, and the question is if you need the improvement. Most of the times you don't really need to get this endless loop of improvements. You put the lyrics out, you move on. Literally, the worst thing you can do is to never issue a track. Never produce a finished piece. If there's one single thing you can do to achieve success in songwriting, that's actually publishing something. Up to this point, you have nothing, you have zero. You can't multiply by zero. As soon as you got at least one song ready, at least one piece of lyrics out, that's when you start growing, because you can multiply one by something. You can't multiply zeros. So make sure you're not aiming at perfection, but you're aiming at least something. Because at least something may not be a sure way to success, but nothing sure is a way to not succeeding. Tip number 78 is taking an improv class. Improv is a very, very positive thing. In improv, you learn to accept yourself. In improv, you learn to say yes. In improv, you learn to disable your inner critic and to have fun. That's the cool thing that improv teaches you. Mistakes are fun. Mistakes are part of life. You can use mistakes to learn, to grow, to have fun actually. I'm pretty sure there's an improv school somewhere around you. Go Google an improv school. There's online improv now. There's even musical improv when people improvise songs in the moment. But that's a more difficult level of improv. Study basic improv. Normally they have free classes. Like the first class is normally free. You get to know what it is and you get to decide whether you want to continue learning or not. So give it a shot. I promise it's fun. Anyways, if you're struggling with writer blocks, if you're insecure about your abilities, if you're feeling stuck editing endlessly, remember that you're not alone. All of these are common obstacles songwriters face, and that's a part of the natural process. That actually is the way you practice the craft. That actually is the way you become better. Don't be afraid to take risks and experiment with new ideas. Use the advice in the video. I hope it helped you. Embrace the process, stay true to your goals, and with enough willingness and dedication, I'm pretty sure you're gonna succeed, because you're awesome. Editing lyrics, an art and a skill, critical eye, well, follow your heart. It's great when you know when to still, but don't forget to start. Yes, you are.